Hi, there are songs that has a lot of chords and the chords change so fast that it's very hard for you to improvise over this song. You are just running after the chords. Sounds familiar? Maybe you can catch all the chords and you can't keep the form, but you just struggle to play the notes of the chords, and then you can't look at the song from above and create simple melodies because you are struggling playing notes for each chord. So your improvisation is lack of musicality. So in these two situations, it's very helpful to simplify the chord progression. Simplify the progression that you think while you improvise. So even if the chords are moving fast and there are a lot of chords, when you improvise, you can think of a simpler chord progression, and that will make your life much easier and your improvisation much more musical. Okay, so in order to do that, that's what we are going to learn this lesson, how to simplify the chord progression. We need to distinguish between two different and important roles of chords. So there are the chords that are leading somewhere. Okay, it's like we call them dominant chords. It's like G7 in the key of C leads to C7, to C, to the chord of C. So you can hear that G7 is an unstable chord. It's a dominant chord that leads to C. So the role of G7 is a chord that leads somewhere. We can call it a dominant chord. So this is one type of chords that we are going to think of. And the second type of chords is the tonic, but not necessarily tonic, but they are the chords that now we have arrived. Now it's a calm place. This is the place for us to be like the C chords. These chords are not leading anywhere. They are just the chords that we feel like no tension there. Okay, so now we can take this idea and see over a 1-6-2-5. For example, I take Swing 42 by Django Reinhardt, but it starts with 1-6-2-5. So we have C, and then we have A minor 7, and then D minor 7, and G. 1, 6, 2, 5. Now I will let you two ways to think of improvisation over these fast chord changes. Right? You have it's going fast. So if you think C, A minor, D minor, okay, I can create melodies that move over the changes. But if it's hard, you can think only on the tonic. Only on C. So now I will let you hear it. I will just improvise over this progression and I think only on the tonic. That's all. As simple as that. Here is the notes of the C chords, right? So I will do it very simple. Alright, now it moves, but you see, it sounds good when you play only over the C. So now you can create more improvisation. Okay, I played half tone below, tone above, and closures. I think only on the chord of C. Alright, so you hear all these chords are moving, and I think only of the chord of C. Now instead of thinking of the tonic chord, we can think of the dominant chord. So we can think only of G7. Let's hear how it sounds when I improvise only over the dominant. Here is the chord of G. This is my dominant chord. 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, now you hear that it's not resolving nowhere. You just stay in the dominant place. But it works. Now we can combine it and play. For C and A minor, I will play the tonic chord, C, and for D minor and G7, I will play the dominant, the G7 chord, and I will explain. 1 and 6, there are two tonic chords, and you see that they have the same notes. If you move the bass away, so C, you have this bass, and A minor 7, you have A bass, but this is the same chord, so they share the same function in the progression. This is a calm place, all right? 1 and 6. Now 2 and 5, always it's a rule. When you have 2-5 chord, you can omit the 2 and think only of the 5, because the 2 is chords that enlarge the 5 progression. So basically the 1, 6 to 5 could have been alright, 1, 5 instead of 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 5. These are the two important chords. Why? C is our tonic, the key of the chord of the song. So A minor, it's like enlarging the progression, and G is the dominant, and the 2 is enlarging this progression. So you can think only on the dominant chord, only on G7 when you have 2-5. To make it easier for you to see what I am playing, here is the shape for C that I'm going to use, like this chord of C. Alright, this chord notes, and here is the shape for G. And listen to that. C, G, C, G. Alright, we'll talk in a moment about the rest of the chords. Now I only want to talk about the 1, 6, 2, 5. Let's do it here. C and G. C, and here is G. Very simple. Right? C and G, that's all. Now what I showed you now was very simple. I just played on the triad notes. You can think much further than that. You can just think on the 1 and play whatever you know how to play on the 1 on C, and play over G whatever you know. You can play arpeggios, you can play licks, whatever you know. You know, like right now I played more arpeggios, but in my mind I thought only C and G. Or if I want to play very melodic, I would think like that. C. Right? So again I thought C, G7 and C again, and that's what I have in mind, and it makes life much easier. If we look at the rest of the chords, we have E half diminished and A7, and then again the 2-5. So now again, E half diminished and A7. When you want to simplify the progression, you need to recognize and see immediately that this is 2-5. 2-5, like we had with D minor and G. This is 2-5 that leads us to the note of D, to the root of D. 2-5. So when you have 2-5, don't play the 2, think only on the 5. So instead of playing E half diminished and A7, no, you can just think of A7. You can play arpeggio, scale, the Mixolydian, flat 5, flat 13, altered, whatever you want. Just think on the 5 chord. And then you have 2-5 again. And again, 2-5, D minor, G7. I think only on G7. Let me demonstrate it for you. C, G, C, G, A, G, C, and G, C, G, C, So leading flat 9, flat 13 for A7, and same thing for G. And you know what, then I have less chord, and it's much more musical for me to play like that. Now I will explain. I think of C, G, C, G, A, G, C. And I think I play something like that. Okay, this is, I'm over the note of E, which is for me C chord. And then G. G arpeggio, G7 arpeggio. And again, C, the note of C. The note of E, which is part of E. So I play C, G, C. And again G, simple G arpeggio, the triad. Okay, something like that. Then I went down to A7 with chromatic approach to G7 and finished. So it's C, G, C, G, A, G, and C. So that's what I'm thinking of, and it helps me create much more melodic improvisation. So I hope you enjoyed this simple idea of how to simplify the chord progression, thinking of less chord while you play improvisation. Now it was over 1, 6, 2, 5 and 2, 5 that are a major part of a lot of songs, a lot of jazz standards. So you can take a lot of songs and just look for the 2, 5 and omit the 2. Look for the 1, 6 and omit the 6. Concentrate on the chords that you are leading to and omit the chords that are less important. As always, I would love to answer your questions and get your feedback. You can write it in the comment section below this video, and I'll see you in the next lessons.